Welcome to the audio version of our Daily Coach newsletter, a reading of some of our greatest hits from more than 6 years of email newsletters that have been read by tens of thousands of leaders and learners. If you want our latest newsletter delivered to your inbox every day, you can subscribe for free at thedaily.coach/subscribe or follow the link in the description. Respect for the position, the game, the competition. In today's culture of business, sports, and media, we often glorify dominance. The pressure is to crush the competition, out-strategize, out-recruit, outspend, and impose your will. Respect for competitors? That's often seen as soft, a quaint ideal of a bygone era. But here's the truth. Behind closed doors, many of the most respected leaders don't just acknowledge their rivals. They study them, learn from them, and admire them. The problem? Most are afraid to say it out loud. Because somewhere along the line, we started mistaking respect for surrender. We started associating humility with a lack of confidence, when in reality it's the greatest sign. But every now and then, two leaders come along who remind us what real competition looks like. Fierce, focused, and full of grace. We saw that grace in action when two powerhouse women's basketball programs, UConn and USC, met twice during the 2024-2025 campaign. In December 2024, USC edged out UConn 72-70 on the road. In March 2025, UConn returned the favor in the NC2A Elite Eight, defeating USC 78-64 to punch their ticket to the Final Four in Tampa. 2 games, 2 elite teams, and 2 transformational coaches, Geno Auriemma and Lindsay Gottlieb, who model a type of leadership that's becoming rare. They embodied that beautiful combination, a tenacious hunger to compete, and a deep well of respect for their opponents. What stood out wasn't just the talent on the floor, it was what happened after the final buzzer. USC had just fallen short of their first Final Four in decades, and they had to do it without their generational star Juju Watkins, who suffered a devastating torn ACL injury earlier in the tournament. Yet Coach Gottlieb, in the face of defeat, began her post-game remarks by expressing how proud she was of her team's resilience, heart, and how they raised the bar of excellence and the standard for the program, even in losses over the course of the year, with immense admiration for Coach Geno Auriemma and the UConn Huskies program. I want to start out by congratulating UConn team that is really good. Obviously could win the national championship, but to me, it's the way they do it. Nothing but respect. She then shared a personal moment that speaks volumes. On December 23rd, we were at our Christmas break and I was at a Christmas party or something, and I got a text from Geno 2 days after we had just beaten them. He said, "Hey, I was just thinking about what a great win that was for you and your program. I love your team and I hope we meet up in Tampa." And I just think about the people who are secure enough to be able to see it from the other side and take a moment 2 days later to say that was a big win for our program, at their place or for me because I'm from there. And so to them, I would also say, as much as this hurts for our kids, how do you not have respect and root for a team that had to figure some things out too along the way and has battled injuries? Coach Gottlieb expressed. Think about that. One of the greatest coaches in the history of basketball, Geno Auriemma, reaching out after a loss not with resentment, but with respect, with a long view, with perspective, with humanity. This wasn't performative, it was genuine. Too often we allow ourselves to be consumed by the outcomes, the wins, the losses, the revenue, the headlines. But if we zoom out, we're all playing a much bigger game, the game of life, one with an end that's not determined by a scoreboard, but by the impact we leave behind and the people we elevate along the way. We each get a birth date and a dash. How we live, lead, love, and serve in between the dash is ours to shape daily. Realize leadership isn't about just closing deals or winning championships. It's about modeling what character looks like in the moments of both triumph and defeat. Great leaders use the platform of competition to teach, prepare, and transform. So the next time you go to battle, on the court, in the boardroom, or in your field, remember, the real victory might just be the example you set when the game or moment is over. Thanks for joining this episode of The Daily Coach. On behalf of Michael Lombardi, Coach George Raveling, and the entire Daily Coach team, we're grateful for your support. Remember, the most important person you will ever lead is yourself. Keep growing, keep learning, and most importantly, keep showing up.